Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's Tuesday morning, and a few things have happened the last couple days. We've been, running in and out of rain showers and things like that. So I haven't really been able to get a lot of consistent filming done, and yeah, that's just kind of how it is. So we're down here Tuesday. Should be a fairly decent day today. It's muggy, and yeah, I'm already sweating here. I've just set up stuff, get ready to get moving, and it's already just kind of sticky and muggy out. So it should be a good day, at least to get some stuff done. So sun just coming up over here. I got my radio set up. I got my table saw out here on cabin 2. So yeah, let me show you what has happened and what we plan on doing today, guys. Here we go. Well, first things first, as we come around here to the back side of the cabin, backside closed in, check. And I snapped a chalk line and ran my circular saw across the bottom there, so that is all set up. Now this is all interior sheathing. On the inside is the plain side, so this is the unfinished side towards the outside. Okay, so that's what the back looked like, and this is what the front looks like. So I've already started to do some of the framing in preparation for installation of my rigid insulation boards. So I've got the frame, the primary outline of the front already has a 2x4 across it and down, and then I have framed across the bottom and up the door frame here. So I have to fill in a couple spots this morning. That's first on the list. So I got a small spot up here across the doorway I got to fill in. And I have to finish around the windows. So some of that. So I got the table saw set up over there. I've got to rip some of those 2x4s down a little thinner. So this is a deviation from the plans, because the windows that the plans call for are relatively small windows, maybe a 18 by 18 window, something like that. So this is drastically larger than what the plans call for. So I've got this framed out down here. You can see this. So it's a 2x4. So there's a 2-inch gap between the interior sheathing that's there, and then the gap, and then the outside of the 2x4. So that's where my 2-inch thick polyiso rigid foam insulation is going to sit in. And then we will sheathe over that with our exterior product, and that will be board and batten, also rough sawn lumber. So any little gaps, I got a little gap over here. So this is probably only, that's less than 1 inch wide right there. That's just going to get probably some spray foam of some sort. And yeah, we'll fill all those gaps. But first things first, I want to finish out framing out the windows on both sides, and then we're actually going to put the joists in, basically, for the loft that's going to go above the front here. So all things we're working on. Let's get it. Now that we have the window frame completely kind of framed out, I now need to start cutting the joists for the loft that goes up in here. So they're going to go from this beam right here over to this beam right here. And yeah, they're going to be 16 on center coming across, just across the ceiling here of the porch. And then we're going to cover the bottom of it with some 1x material. So that's what's next. First thing I wanted to do across this beam here, I wanted to mark out 16-inch centers for my joists that are going to go across. They, yeah, just remember these are actual 2x4, so these marks are slightly wider. That's why they may look kind of larger than normal. But yeah, marked them out there, and then over here on the beam as well. So this will hopefully help me in getting the most accurate measurement I can for when I put these up. Remember, this is rough sawn lumber, so when it connects from this beam to this beam, you know, this beam may have a little bow in it. It may not, I'm sure it's not exactly 4 inches square. You know, there's just a lot to go around. So I have to individually measure each and every one of these as they come across. Now there's not, you know, too many of them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 10 going across, so it's not that bad. So let's get it done.
mind, deep down in my soul. Running through a cornfield, running through a hayfield. I could see it clear as day. And the games we would play to the end of the day. I could hear my mama call, it's time for supper, y'all. sand by the lake. Fishing with a homemade pole, fishing with a pine tree pole. Still taste that flavor now of the bluegill catch we're cooking now. Yeah. Hometown, small town feeling. Wonder where did you go? That one thing I've been missing. Wanna come on back home. Hometown, small town feeling. Wonder where did you go? That one thing I've been missing. Wanna come on back home. And I wanna get stuck in the snow. See my neighbor and his tractor pull me back on the road. And I wanna get stuck in the snow. See my neighbor and his tractor pull me back on the road. Hometown, small town feeling. Wonder where did you go? That one thing that I've been missing. Wanna come on back home. Hometown, small town feeling. Wonder where did you go? That one thing that I've been missing. Wanna come on back home. Oh, hometown, small town feeling. Wonder where did you go? That one thing that I've been missing. Wanna come on back home. Yeah, hey, hometown, small town feeling. Wonder where did you go?
Well, guys, that's probably going to call it quits for the day there. So, rafters in here, or floor joist, depending on how you look at it there within the loft that's up there. Also framed out with the nailers on the side here. So in that void now created by that 2x4, I put my 2-inch rigid foam polyiso insulation, and then board and battened on top of that using these 3 nailers for those vertical boards. So I've got to come back to the rear tomorrow. I'm going to do the same exact thing here to the rear. Basically outline the entire rear of the cabin with those 2x4s. Again, creating the void for that insulation. All right, guys, like I said, it's early. It's only 2 o'clock, but I have some running around to do, so I probably won't post this tonight. I am probably going to just kind of consolidate it with the video tomorrow. It should be no problem getting the back section done and the other side. I can't show you the other side. That's SCI stuff right now. So no access. Need to know. So yeah, that's it for today. I got to do some running around. I'm going to grab paints from another town, and it just takes a while to get there and get some stuff done. So that's a wrap for today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, ready to get things going here, and it's gonna be a little muggy again today. Not quite as warm as it was yesterday, but definitely gonna work up a little bit of a sweat. So we're gonna keep moving on with cabin 1. I've got to put those insulation nailers up along the back side, and then here along the eave side here on the north end. So yeah, that's what we're working on today. We're gonna get that done, and then we're probably gonna move on to closing up the loft floor. Probably be able to get on some of that today. We'll see how things go. The back of this here is a little bit challenging. Let me show you why. So the back of this here is challenging for the simple fact that this is so far off the ground here, and it slopes down. It slopes down away from the camera, and Yeah, so I use my block. I got blocks of wood over there to kind of put under the feet of my ladder. So, you know, the stuff down here at chest level is obviously no problem, but once you get up there under the eave and that fly rafter there is that's a long way up and at a very challenging topography here, the back of the cabin. So this will be the first one we're going to work on today, this back side, and then we'll get over here onto this side here. Well, you just watched me finish up the insulation nailers here. No real issues to speak of. There are, I mean, obviously some gaps. Let's see if I can get in there. So up there along my ridge board, yeah, like right there, all this is going to be hidden because I'm going to actually close in the soffits. I'm going to close in the soffits, which is going to make a nice, neat trim line around there. But, you know, I still got up there. I cut the angles for this top piece here. So everything's 18.5, and that's obviously based on the roof pitch and stuff like that. So, yeah, no problems through here. So I'm going to start working here on this side. But I got to take the plastic down and stuff, which means you guys got to go away. I'll see you when I'm done. Guys, just got back from lunch. What we're going to work on now, we got to close in this side, actually both sides of the loft area. So a little bit more. I had to rip some more dados out. And yeah, I've got a decent little stack kind of shorties that were left over. So we're going to utilize these to close in the loft, and then I have to put some nailers up, and that should be it. So I got a bunch of 6-inch wide boards here, and we're going to cover the top of the loft. Let's see here. So this area up here, we're going to cover. So I got a little bit of trim. I got to trim around those 4x4s, those corner posts and stuff like that. And I'm supposed to have a 1-inch overhang on the front here. So that's really the only kind of special things that are going on with these planks that are coming across here. I planed them simply because if somebody's laying up there on a whether air mattress or whatever we have up there, so they don't get a splinter in their butt. So that's kind of the plan for that. So yeah, shouldn't have much trimming to do except for those 4 corners and then a 1-inch overhang. Let's get it. All right, guys, bit snug up here in the loft a little bit, but you get the point. So let me get these in. All right, guys, that's going to call it quits here from the loft in cabin 1. No real issues. Everything went down just fine. This is it's going to be a nice little spot. I'm sure some kids that show up, they're going to dig kind of crashing up in here. All right, guys, on to what's next. Guys, that's going to be a wrap for today. We're actually going down this afternoon to grab the bus again. So we'll have that, finally the bus will be back now, ready to go. So we'll be ready for any type of trips or anything we want to take. So pretty much moving along real good here with cabin 1. There is a small window, maybe 18 by 18. I'm not quite sure the size of it. That's going to go up in that loft, and framing out that window and then putting the interior sheathing on and then doing that insulation nailers around there. That's all that's really has to be done, and before I start moving into putting the windows in, the door, house wrapping it, insulation, house wrap, and then the exterior sheathing, which will be board and batten. So definitely moving along and at a good pace, and I like the way things are going. So yeah, I'm just happy with that. So everything so far has been turning out great. We're really excited to get this far on this cabin. Of course, any downtime, if I'm waiting on window delivery or anything like that, I'll just move on down to cabin 3 and start doing the same process again. So there's no shortage of work, that's for sure. Listen, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. I know it's been a couple days since I put out a video. Thanks for hanging in there. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.